Welcome back to Movies TV Mad and part two of the Movies TV Mad Daily. I had a technical hitch. My internet went off. Let's hope it stays on. It's back on now. We were in the middle of talking about Florence Powell, reading an article where she's being interviewed by Screen Rant about the Black Widow movie. So we're going to continue doing that. Remember, I'm also Movies TV Mad over on Twitter. So give us a follow. Please like, share and subscribe, share the channel, share the videos, have a good time going through all my old videos before you turned up. But please subscribe because you will always get the updates you need from the entertainment industry right here. If I'm not covering something, if I'm not covering a franchise or a movie or a TV show you like, you can tell me and we can start talking about it. Ronnie Dodge, hey mate, yes. Sorry about that, Ronnie. Good morning. I had a technical hitch. Part one is obviously on my YouTube. You can go and watch that. We've been talking about Superman and Lois maybe being a carbon copy of Man of Steel. We've been talking about maybe they can do things a bit more right than Man of Steel did with the kind of the destruction and some fans perceiving it. And we've been reading some articles already. So that's part one, and this is part two. So this is what Florence Powell had to say. So Screen Rant asked her, back when Black Widow was in production, Screen Rant visited the set. During an interview with Powell, the Oscar-nominated actress previewed the devastating story at the center of the Marvel movie. It's all tied to the Red Room, and when Powell was asked about how Yelena feels about the organization, she had this to say. Good question. I think that's one of the heartbreaks about this film, is that it's essentially about women that have been abused, whether it's about a system or whether it's about physical abuse. They've all been in some way trapped, and I think this film is the realization of the life that was taken from them, and that's how Natasha and Yelena start repairing. I suppose so. I don't think she's too happy about it. Then again, it's the only thing she's known, so I don't know. The MCU has tapped into stories of female abuse before with the Netflix series Jessica Jones, but this is arguably the first time the movie side of the franchise has done so. Natasha previously touched upon what happened to her in the Red Room in Avengers Age of Ultron, but those scenes never dug deep into her lingering trauma. Therefore, Black Widow presents an opportunity to shine a light on what Natasha, Yelena, and the other Red Room assassins have gone through. Based on Powell's comments, it's going to be an emotional ride. Though Black Widow is a superhero movie at its core, it also promises to be a compelling character-driven spy thriller, even despite all the recent strides in representation. Oh, I suddenly feel a little bit tired. The comic book Junior remains very male-orientated. I'm so tired. Someone get me my pillow from my bed just there. Grounded emotional focus on the trauma women experience. After all this time, the Red Room is moving out the shadows and is going to bring a lot of heartbreak with it. Listen, the Red Room's a great concept. This really shouldn't be about female abuse. It should be individual people being abused. But it's always about women. Women are the only ones who face abuse, and all men are bad. It's all men, isn't it? Never mind. Calm down, Mike. They'll soon go bankrupt, these extremists. So I am excited about Black Widow, a male-orientated franchise. So what? Good. I'm glad. Anyway, because when you do represent women, you do it badly. Right, let's lighten things up. This is DC-orientated, kind of, but this is also about Space Jam. So this is by Joe Gillis of Screen Rant. Space Jam's other new release is a genius first for movies. Cartoon Network's new Teen Titans release presents the characters giving a commentary on the original Space Jam film. A genius first for movies. Wow, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? I love the Teen Titans animated series as well. Bobcat, hey Mickey. So what do you think of episode 2 of Loki? Ronnie Dodge, I saw your Instagram post about a reaction to Suicide Squad. Yes, and I read that out here on the first part of today's the Movies TV Mad Daily as well, so you can see that on the first part of today's show as well. Ronnie Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia Glazers out. Yo, brother, yo, Kurt. Right. Cartoon Network's new Teen Titans release presents the characters giving commentary on the original Space Jam film. A genius first for movies. Teen Titans Go. See Space Jam is due to air. Go see Space Jam is due to air on Cartoon Network on the 20th of June. And in the vein of the Mystery Science Theater 3000, we'll see the Teen Titans cross paths with Space Jam's Alien Nerdlux for a very special viewing of the 1996 cult hit. Wow. I want to check this out. Combining live action and animation, Space Jam saw basketball legend Michael Jordan join forces with Looney Tunes to help them defeat a group of cartoon enslaving aliens in an epic game of basketball. Now with new Teen Titans Go, see Space Jam, audiences will be able to watch the movie through new animated eyes. I can't wait for this. Right, let's see what everyone's saying. Ronnie Dodge, I did send you a quote from Quintessa about a Black Adam, and it connects to other DCEU movies. Right. First of all, who's Quintessa and where did you put it? At my Twitter or on my Instagram? Thanks for doing that, Ronnie, by the way. I'm going to check it out very shortly. Bobcat, I really liked it, but it wasn't perfect. A tad overwritten, but it's time I spent with my dad, so that boosts the experience for me. So that basically means you could be watching anything with your dad. Basically, you could be watching a pirated edition of The Suicide Squad, right? And it'd still be a great experience. It doesn't mean Loki was that good. That's what I'm getting from you. Anyway. Kurt Manchester United fan Australia Glazer out. I like your new name, brother. It's also thank you, and it's also the name of my Twitter and my Instagram. So on Instagram, I am at Movies TV Mad 555, and I'm the same over on TikTok. Ronnie Dodge, hey Bobcat, today's the first shot. Day a bit nervous. I was really nervous. Take some paracetamol. I took a paracetamol, two paracetamol before, half an hour before I went. I had the shot. Your arm will feel you like, as the day proceeds, that like you've lifted up something heavy. So it's not the end of the world. And your leg muscles will feel a bit tired as well, but not the end of the world. It's different for different people. I hope you get through it very well. Ronnie Dodge, on Twitter, she plays Cyclone in Black Adam. Right, I'm going to check it out. I'm excited about that. Bobcat, Ronnie Dodge, I get my second shot in 6 hours. Ooh, good luck, my friend. Bobcat, I liked it, but like I said, it's very much overwritten. What do you mean by overwritten? I've never heard that criticism before. Tell me what you mean by that, Bobcat, because obviously I'm a writer. Ronnie Dodge just took some paracetamol. Well done. Someone takes my fucking advice. That's good. Anyway, while the Teen Titans crossover is ostensibly a promotional stunt to advertise Space Jam, the new legacy, of course it is, a belated sequel to the original film starring NBA basketball player LeBron James, who also appeared in a 2016 episode of Teen Titans Go in place of Michael Jordan. Teen Titans Go see Space Jam looks set to break some new ground, with the characters commenting on a movie largely unrelated to the franchise that they belong to. It can also be seen as a homage to the classic Cartoon Network bumper, wherein a bunch of recognizable animated characters frequent the same cinema. This is interesting. Warner Brothers are not just doing this multiverse strategy where everything becomes canon. Now what they're doing, they could make the whole of Warner Brothers IPs canon. Now that, my friends, is very exciting with a lot of potential. Bobcat, way too much dialogue. It was just almost nothing but taking with no space to breathe. So would you say there's more talking than action and it's not that interesting? That's how it sounds to me. I think basically Wonder Woman 84 did that a lot, didn't it? Anyway, so that's exciting. Given that Space Jam and Teen Titans have few previous ties, this is an unusual approach. No, it's not. It's a genius approach, Screen Rant. And if Disney were doing it, you'd be shilling it. For Cartoon Network and parent company Warner Brothers to take but present something of a first for movies, while novelty commentary tracks aren't anything new, the Spinal Tap one comes to mind. Teen Titans Go Space Jam is fully animated special, set to feature the Teen Titans commenting on the action, pausing the movie for breaks, counting how many shots of butts there are, and providing comedic overlays. This is going to be so cool. Onto the original film. Additionally, the Nerdlux seem to have a devious plan up their sleeves, suggesting that there might be more of a storyline at play than simply watching the Teen Titans view Space Jam. Oh, wow. This is going to be so cool. Bobcat, oh, there was almost no action in this episode beside a very small fight at the end. God. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for David Zaslav coming in because he's impressed what Warner Media are doing with the DCEU. Bobcat, also, there is a character reveal at the end, and the casting was terrible. I mean, it was really bad. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I'll be watching it at lunchtime. I may do an editorial video to react to it. What I want to do my lives, but I want to do my editorial videos as well. I really want to make this a huge platform for everyone, and not everyone enjoys lives, but I want to keep them going, and I want loads of people to come in, but I want to do pre-recorded videos as well. So I'm very excited about the future of this channel. People are unsubscribing as I speak all the time. That doesn't matter, or maybe their bot accounts have been deleted by YouTube. I don't know, but I don't care. I will rebuild this platform. I will strive to get 1,000 subscribers of good people who are as passionate about entertainment as I am. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, I wasn't impressed with the second episode. Yeah, you see, I wasn't impressed with the first one either. So let's see. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I was the opposite to you guys last week. Maybe I'll be the opposite or in agreement with you this week. In fact, this time last week, me and Bobcat had a bit of a disagreement. But that's all past us now, isn't it, Bobcat? Right, where am I? It's novel. Listen to this. They love going at Warner Brothers. It's a novel, if corporately sinister way to advertise Space Jam. Sinister. A new legacy while also drawing a new audience to the original film, which kids of today might not necessarily be familiar with. While the 1996 movie did well at the box office, it received very mixed reviews. Oh, piss off. From critics, who cares about them? But has since been regarded by an overly nostalgic group of people, piss off, as something of a classic. It is a classic. That nostalgia obviously won't exist. That nostalgia won't exist for the large portion of Space Jam, a new legacy's target audience. So Cartoon Network appears to be attempting to manufacture that same familiarity by attracting their young viewers to Space Jam via a crossover with something they already know and enjoy, Teen Titans. That's a clever move. It's a clever move. If Disney did it, you'd be licking their butts clean. All that said, it's fun to imagine other fictional characters commenting on older, largely unrelated movies. How about the Guardians of the Galaxy? Here we go. Here we go. Back to Disney. Back to the MCU. And made Disney flicks. But that's yeah, listen to this. Largely unrelated movies. How about the Guardians of the Galaxy commenting on some animated Disney flicks, thus bringing attention to company's back catalogue on Disney+. The Muppets making fun of Labyrinth. Maybe Scooby-Doo and the gang watching The Exorcist. Either way, Teen Titans Go, see Space Jam is likely to be more enjoyable than watching the comparable Space Jam. Oh, shut up. Original, and for thinking outside of the marketing box. Cartoon Network ought to be applauded. Exactly. You could have said that ages ago. Instead of getting your little digs in and keep on going back to Disney and Marvel. Anyway, that's done. I'm excited about it. It's exciting. Bobcat, Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston really shine, though. It's very much their show, though. Oh, definitely. Bobcat, all good vibes, mate. Sorry about the disagreement last week. Again, just very passionate. Aren't we all? And there's nothing wrong with passion. It's what I want here. It's the kind of platform I want to build. So it's all good. If people are not passionate, they don't care. So can someone tell me, Ronnie Dodge, have you seen a picture of Ezra's longish hair for The Flash? Yeah, it's not that long. It's a little bit longer. It's kind of like curtains, isn't it? Yeah, it's interesting. So it's not scruffy long hair. So they're going for a new look. That's very, very interesting. I don't know if they're going to use that for flash forwards, flashbacks, but it'd be interesting. Bobcat, he could be wearing a wig though. Maybe. Right. Can anyone tell me what Marvel's Armor Wars is? Because I'm about to read an article about it, and I know nothing about this. Marvel's Armor Wars show will fill Iron Man void in MCU, says Disney CEO. Walt Disney CEO Bob Chapek says that the upcoming Disney Plus series Armor Wars will fill the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Iron Man-sized void by Grant Herman's A Screen Rant. Walt Disney CEO Bob Chapek says that the upcoming Disney Plus series Armor Wars will fill the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Iron Man-sized void. The in-development series is based on the Marvel comic storyline of the same name, in which Iron Man and War Machine fought side by side to retrieve Stark technology being used for wrongdoing. Though it's unclear how exactly it will adapt Bob Layton and David Michelini's iconic comic, it is known that Don Cheadle will be reprising his role of James Rhodes, aka War Machine. Oh, right. So in the comics, Tony Stark would have been in this, but obviously he can't be in this. This is interesting. I'm excited about this. Bobcat, he could be well. No, I've read that. Bobcat, it's a spin-off show with War Machine and Ironheart, the female ethnic lesbian of Iron Man. Right, ethnic lesbian. Oh, I see. So this is. I was excited about it, and now I'm realizing it's just another. It's another excuse for these extremists to virtue signal. Right. Thanks for letting me know, Bobcat. I'll give that a wide berth. After plenty of projects were announced to be in development for the streaming platform in 2018, it wasn't until Disney Investor Day 2020 that Marvel head Kevin Feige revealed Armor Wars was in the works. It isn't the first time the MCU has utilized material from the comics, with Iron Man 2 borrowing elements of its story, namely the concept of Tony Stark's Iron Man technology being duplicated in improper hands. Details are still mostly scarce on the series, including a proper confirmation of production after Cheadle revealed in February shooting would begin in a couple of months from that time. While covering a virtual conference with Chapek at the Forefront Spectrum, news reporter Ashley Carter took to Twitter to recount how the fan asked the CEO to bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s character to the franchise rather than shut down the request. Chapek had an interesting tease for Armor Wars and how it will address fans' desire to see the character return. See what Chapek had to say below. Moderator says Marvel fan is asking Chapek to bring back Iron Man. His response: tell your Marvel fan that we've got a series called Armor Wars coming up, starring Don Cheadle as War Machine, and I think that will probably scratch that itch that our fans have for more Iron Man. Does that mean that Tony Stark is in this? Well, it's set in the present, right? So could there be a multiverse version of Tony Stark? Could there be flashbacks? Maybe that's how they bring him back. Bobcat, bingo lol. Bobcat, hey everyone, look at us. We're Disney and we're diverse. Exactly, when we're not really diverse. Bobcat, I'll tell you what, I was hanging out with the girl I'm always talking about at her pool today. And, ooh, wow. Ooh. Ronnie Dodge, got to go, mate. Getting ready to leave to get my vaccine at 12 p.m. UK time. Okay, mate, see you later. Given Downey Jr.'s start made the ultimate sacrifice at the end of Avengers Endgame, the door has seemed pretty definitely closed for his return, save for brief cameo appearances or archival footage, with the source material putting both Iron Man and War Machine against those utilising the tech for bad. It does raise questions of how exactly the series will adapt the comic storyline and whether Shield's Rhodey will have to face it alone or partner with a new hero. As Disney Plus and Marvel are also in development of an Ironheart series, who is generally seen as the proper successor to Stark. See how that goes. It could very well set up their partnership date with no word on when production will start on it, and the writing only having just begun last month. That seems unlikely. Whether Rhodes must face the bad guys alone or with another hero, there's no denying that hearing Armor Wars will scratch the itch fans have desired for more Iron Man is a comfort. It's been previously revealed that Stark's death will factor into the story of the series, which would continue the trend of Phase 4 of the MCU honouring Iron Man's legacy. While waiting for word on the show, fans will at least have another void filled with the return of Tom Hiddleston's Loki as his eponymous series continues on Disney+. And by the sounds of it, not going too well, but anyway. Good luck, Ronnie Dodge, from Bobcat. Bobcat, remember the jab doesn't hurt. It's after the jab. Bobcat, yeah, and she had an American flag towel. It was like she was wrapped in freedom. Oh, wow, I see, yeah. God bless America, eh? The most corrupt country in the world. Right. We have more from Florence Powell. Being in the... Hang on a minute. I want to check what Ronnie sent me on Twitter. No, actually, I'll do it later. So I don't want to lose my place. Okay. Let's go back. Being in an MCU movie isn't scary to Florence Powell until you ask her. From Screen Rant and Graham Gutman. Florence Powell, who will make her MCU debut as Yelena Belova in Black Widow, is only scared about entering the Marvel machine when asked about it. Bobcat, only thing better would be a DC Comics towel. Bobcat, her wrapped in the Batman or Superman symbol. Oh, yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Yelena Belova actress Florence Powell is only scared about making her MCU debut in Black Widow because people keep asking her about it. Yeah, that's part of your job, love. Although the upcoming Scarlett Johansson-led film may be Powell's biggest role yet, the actress has made a name for herself over the last several years by starring in several hit indie films. Powell broke out with her role in 2016's Lady Macbeth before a string of roles in 2019 that launched her to a new level of stardom. Those roles included wrestling drama Fighting With My Family, Midsommar, and Little Women, the latter of which earned Power Best Supporting Actress nomination. By the way, the original Little Women is far superior than the remake they did. Just saying. Actress nomination at the 2020 Academy Awards. Having become a cult favourite, Powell was in a perfect position to join the MCU, as the studio loves to nab the hottest up-and-coming talent for their feature films. Although Powell has experienced her fair share of the celebrity lifestyle since becoming popular, her Marvel role will launch her to new heights once again, and the actress hasn't reckoned with that fact quite yet. In a new interview from a visit to the set of Black Widow, Powell revealed that she hasn't really thought about much what it means for her to be making her Marvel debut. The gravity of her casting didn't register until people began asking her if she is ready for her life to change following the premiere of the film. Ultimately, though, Powell sees this as a positive thing. The actress takes pride in her work and in her fans, and the ability to reach even more people excites the actress more than it scares her. You know what's funny is when it first happened, I was like, oh, great, I'm going to be in a Marvel film. And then since being in a Marvel film, every single person has asked me that question. And now I'm like, oh, God, what is going to happen? I don't know. I think it's a wonderful thing to have followers and to have fans and for people to respect your work and also respect the fact that I'm now part of the Marvel universe. I suppose I'll just have to see. But I've always been a very honest and open person with interviews and with fans, and I hope I can continue doing that. You won't be able to do that. Disney won't let you do that. And it's only wonderful to be embraced in such a big and growing family. Basically, calling Hollywood a family or a franchise a family is like calling the Red Room that these women were tortured in, right, or whatever happened to them in, as a family. Because it's not really a family. That's just marketing. That's just what they say. Bobcat, all thanks to your help, Flo, mate. You are welcome. By now, Powell is probably used to the limelight. While it's not on the scale of Marvel films yet, the actress has experienced her fair share of acclaim. Little Women saw her go on a global press tour with co-stars Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Meryl Streep, Laura Dern, and Timothée Chalamet. And anticipation for the actress' next role is sky high. Powell will next star in Olivia Wilde's follow-up to Booksmart, Don't Worry, Darling. She will also star in Dolly, a sci-fi courtroom drama for Apple TV. Powell will also appear in another Marvel project this year, with the actress confirmed to be reprising a role of Yelena Belova in Disney Plus series Hawkeye. That's an interesting place. It's more than likely that she's also contracted for several more Marvel projects, and if Black Widow does well enough, it's quite possible she could star in her own solo film one day. That would be awesome. For Powell, there's no turning back now, and despite the pressure that comes with it, the actress is an exciting addition to the MCU. She absolutely is, no question about that. Right, Screen Rant are talking about Stargirl Season 2, Arrowverse's new Green Lantern, explained by Andy, by Andy, whose surname I can never pronounce. Sorry about that, Andy, but it is a B-E-A-K-H-T. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. Anyway, so Stargirl Season 2 is introducing a new Green Lantern to the Arrowverse. Here's what you need to know about the new Emerald Knight. The Arrowverse is finally getting a Green Lantern, as Stargirl Season 2 is introducing Jade, the daughter of the Golden Age Emerald Knight. One of the CW's recent additions to the DC TV line up is Stargirl, which focuses on Courtney Whitmore and the next generation of the Justice Society of America. As most of the original team was taken out by the Injustice Society of America, Courtney took it upon herself to revive the JSA with new blood, taking on some famous DC mantles. But as Courtney went through the JSA brownstone collecting the old heroes, costumes and gear, one of them happened to be a Green Lantern power battery. While fans never saw him die on screen, the battery belonged to Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern. He was a significant member of the original JSA. Despite Stargirl Season 1 not doing anything with the power battery, the creative team had assured fans that there would be a payoff in the following season, especially as the Green Lantern ring was mysteriously missing. After having to wait for over a year, the CW unveiled their first major trailer for Stargirl Season 2, revealing the next Emerald Knight. JSA, Yasa Penonora had been cast in a secret role back in 2020, was confirmed to be playing Jade, Alan's daughter, as shown in the trailer. Bobcat, no frog this episode though, which was what I was looking forward to. You're not going to see much of him, mate, if that's what you're looking for. Jade is only one of the new characters showing up on Stargirl Season 2, but for the Arrowverse, her addition is important. After all, the Green Lantern teases on Arrow, and the Flash Stargirl becomes the first Arrowverse show on the CW to explore a side of the beloved mythology properly. While the mainstream audience may not be as familiar with Jade as they might be with Hal Jordan or John Stewart, she has existed in DC Comics since September 1983. Jade, aka Jennifer Lynn Hayden, is one of Alan's two kids. She has a twin brother named Todd Rice, who operates as the superhero Obsidian. When Alan's wife, Rose Canton, who was also his former villain Fawn, was pregnant, she was worried the kids would get hurt due to her evil persona. Rose gave Jade and Todd up for adoption, and they were ultimately separated when two different foster families raised them. Jade eventually discovered she had a brother and that they were the Green Lantern's children. They actually tried to join the JSA but were rejected, so they formed Infinity Inc., which consisted of other JSA sidekicks and offspring. Of course, the brother's not going to be in this because he's a male, I'm assuming. When it comes to Jade's powers, she was born a metahuman due to the magical energies that Alan had been exposed to throughout his superhero career. This gave Jade the power to produce green energy, similar to how Green Lanterns create their energy constructs. However, this caused Jade to be born with green skin and green hair. Jade had also inherited some of her biological mother's abilities, which allowed her to manipulate plants. She also had a telepathic link to her twin brother Todd, enabling them to communicate in a limited capacity, unlike the Golden Age Green Lantern. Jade doesn't need to recharge to access her abilities since she was born with them. Stargirl Season 1 didn't waste any time alluding to the Golden Age Green Lantern, with the plot showing the JSA's final battle against the JSA. While Alan was never seen in the Flash, his green flame energy was spotted all over the mansion as the heroes were losing 10 years after the original JSA fell. Courtney took Alan's power battery with her as she was emptying the brownstone. The only images that exist of Alan are the JSA group photo in his banner in the headquarters. Despite being dormant, the power battery was seen lit up a few times in Stargirl Season 1, hinting that it wasn't entirely out of juice. Bobcat, also you thought Ralph Boner was bad. At least I got a laugh out of that. The reveal that this episode was underwhelming and the person acting was really bad. I mean, really bad. Hopefully she gets better. But as Pat explained how dangerous the power battery is, he stressed that it was useless without the ring, as he didn't know what happened to it after the Injustice Society killed Alan. The Arrowverse iteration has so far been ambiguous about the larger extent of the Green Lantern Corps and how Alan ended up getting his ring and battery. That might be a question Stargirl Season 2 gets to properly answer to help establish how the Green Lantern mythology works in this universe. So far, there is very little known about Pendrago's Arrowverse version of Jade in Stargirl Season 2. Outside of the shots from the recent trailer, the first look at the power ring is when it begins to glow up in an unknown location. But it seems that Jade has had the power ring the entire time. As the trailer sees her coming to Courtney's home, where they have a showdown for unclear reasons, it's fair to speculate that Jade came to retrieve the power battery, as the trailer ends with her taking it and revealing to Courtney that she's Green Lantern's daughter. Based on the trailer alone, it seems the Arrowverse is taking some liberties with Stargirl's Jade, who doesn't have green skin like her comic book counterpart. What a surprise! And we know the reason for that, don't we? But we won't go into that here. But that doesn't necessarily mean Jade may not be seen with green skin throughout the season, or if it's something she can shift from in the incarnation. It is also unclear whether or not her brother Obsidian will show up. Probably not, because he's a man. However, given how much Stargirl has been drawn from the JSA comics thus far, it wouldn't be surprising if he appears in a cameo. Yeah, a cameo. He's a man. He can only appear in a cameo. Or perhaps in a bigger role in Season 3. While many Arrowverse viewers probably expected Arrow's John Diggle to be the first Green Lantern on the CW Stargirl Season 2, will now beat him to it. It's interesting that a different DC TV show is utilising Jade, as HBO Max's Green Lantern series will feature Alan as one of the lead characters, played by Jeremy Irvine. Perhaps that is one of the reasons Alan was killed off, due to HBO Max drama using the Golden Age Green Lantern. But as Stargirl Season 2 brings Jade into the Arrowverse, It will be exciting to see the CW's first Green Lantern in action and how she fits within the JSA. Now, this is interesting. So this Alan Scott has been killed off, but the one in Green Lantern Corps is playing a predominant major role, right? So obviously the Arrowverse is separate to the Green Lantern Corps universe. So is Green Lantern Corps set in the DCEU Earth 1 universe, or is it in a new universe entirely? Because this is the multiverse strategy. So we need to know that. So as soon as I do know that, I'll let you know. Bobcat, Bobcat. Oh, wait, maybe I meant she. I don't know. Interesting. So that's very interesting. Right. Let's get back to it. I've lost my place. It's okay. Right. Here we are. What director Kate Shortland brings to Black Widow? According to Scarlett Johansson, get ready to be triggered. Scarlett Johansson discusses how Black Widow director Kate Shortland has brought out the new side of Natasha Romanoff character in the MCU movie. By Rick Stevenson. You notice they don't mention the SJW headlines too much in these, in these high-profile sites on their articles because they know people won't read them. They lure you in, then they hit you. Scarlett Johansson has opened up about how Black Widow director Kate Shortland has brought out different sides of the Natasha Romanoff character. The upcoming film, which stars Johansson alongside Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Ote Glenn and Rachel Weisz, will dive deep into the backstory of the eponymous hero. After repeated delays, Black Widow is set to finally kick off MCU Phase 4's theatrical run when it releases on July the 9th, 2021. It's not far away at all. Set between the events of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War, Black Widow will show Natasha returning to her roots and reuniting with central figures from her assassin past, including sister figure Yelena Belova, Powell, and father figure Alexei Shostakov, Red Guardian, Harbour. Though parts of Black Widow's past have been glimpsed at different points throughout the MCU, she's never been the star of her own story. Now, still, it's not yet known how Black Widow will factor into the events of Phase 4, given that the titular character doesn't live to see the end of Avengers Endgame. When Screen Rant visited the set of the Marvel film, Johansson discussed how her view of the Black Widow character has evolved over the years and how working with different directors has helped her bring out new sides of Natasha. She then opened up about how Shortland really focused on the vulnerability of the character for the new movie, something Johansson was excited to explore. Read Johansson's full quote below. With Kate, it's just been so liberating because she's not afraid of any of the ugliness of what is perceived to be ugliness. The embarrassing, uncomfortable parts, like the soft underbelly, all that. That's what she wants to make movies about. I hope that we see Natasha's real true strength in this film more than ever before, and I think Kate will bring that out. During the interview, Johansson also discussed how Black Widow's true strength at this stage in the MCU is her vulnerability and her selflessness, qualities that culminated in Avengers Endgame, when she sacrificed herself to obtain the Soul Stone and to help save the universe from the Thanos. Black Widow will hopefully show some more of the character build up to that moment, elaborating on her values, fleshing out the personal arc leading into Infinity War. The introduction of the so many previously unseen figures from Natasha's past should help to show new sides of the mysterious assassin as well. At the end of the day, Black Widow's story has always been about grappling with the past. Many of her actions and decisions are informed by an early life that she has difficulty dealing with, a life that she didn't choose for herself. By giving Natasha a chance to return to that past and face her demons, the movie has a unique opportunity to give some significant closure to her story retroactively. With a skilled director like Shortland at the helm, Black Widow has a chance to tell that story in a new and powerful way. Leroy Kong, Earth 10. That is interesting, my friend. Thank you for that information. The only thing so far I have an issue about Black Widow is how they're making David Harbour's character a fucking joke. The women are actually fat-shaming him as they're eating. Now, is it okay for women to fat-shame a man? Is that where we're going now? It's just a bit of fun. They're going to get so much shit for this, and I can't wait. Bobcat never knew confidence was so important. Also, don't know too much interest in her when she knows hang on, Bobcat, never knew confidence was so important. Also, don't show too much interest in her when she knows she has you. She'll get bored. At the end of the day, listen, relationships have a lifespan at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what you do, it will end. Just enjoy the ride. Now, this is interesting. Die Hard writer reportedly joins Assassin's Creed show. Netflix has tapped Die Hard writer Jeb Stewart to write the original live-action series adaptation of the video game franchise Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed. It is Assassin's Creed because they're making more. Assassin's Creed by Jeff Nelson of Screen Rant. Writer Jeb Stewart has been tapped to write a live-action adaptation of Assassin's Creed game series for Netflix. This series was originally announced in October as part of a deal between Netflix and Ubisoft, which includes live-action, animated, and anime content based on Ubisoft's game properties. The partnership has TV projects including a Splinter Cell anime series. Go on, Netflix are obsessed with anime, aren't they? With John Wick writer Derek Kolstad attached. An anime series based on a Far Cry and a Far Cry anime series spin-off titled Captain Laura Hulk, a Blood Dragon remix. Bobcat, unless things really work out, but I'm not going to go that far, it won't last forever unless you pretend all the time. Then it will last forever. The open world action, just prepare yourself. Just enjoy what you've got. When you eat something, you enjoy it, it finishes. That's what a relationship is. The open world action adventure stealth game franchise revolves around an ongoing conflict between the assassins and the Knights Templar. Represent freedom and order, respectively. The assassins seek to stop the Knight Templar from finding the pieces of Eden, which would allow them to take control of humanity and end free will. Each Assassin's Creed video game entry tracks this battle across various time periods. Ubisoft Film and Television Jason Altman and Daniel Krenick are reported to serve as executive producers. According to Variety, Netflix has hired Jeb Stewart to write the live-action adaptation of Assassin's Creed. Stewart is best known for writing Die Hard, the Academy Award Best Picture nominee, The Fugitive. Wow, I didn't know he did that. It's a great movie and another 48 Hours. This announcement continues Stewart's relationship with Netflix, as he also wrote the 2020 miniseries The Liberator and Vikings Valhalla, which is a spin-off to the History Channel series Vikings. There is no word regarding the Assassin's Creed plot, setting, or a release date at this time. The original video game was released in 2007 and became a hit, selling over 155 million copies across the franchise. The upcoming Netflix series is not the first venture into live-action territory. An Assassin's Creed film adaptation was released in 2016 with Michael Fassbender in the lead role. The story follows Callum Lynch, who explores the memories of his ancestor, Aguilar Dinertia, and takes on the skills of a master assassin. On a reported budget of 125 million, the film grossed 240 million worldwide. While the film is set in the same universe as the video games, it is an original story that seeks to expand upon the mythology of the franchise. Given the film adaptation's general poor critical reception, the live-action Netflix series has a lot to prove. However, it is certainly exciting to see how Stewart will adapt the world of Assassin's Creed to a longer form of storytelling as a series. Now that Stewart's involvement has been announced, hopefully more news will follow soon that will give more insight into what fans can expect from this upcoming series. Scarlett Johansson isn't done yet. How Black Widow has evolved in the MCU since Iron Man 2. Black Widow first joined the MCU in 2010's Iron Man 2, and she's had quite the arc since then. Scarlett Johansson looks back on how she's evolved by Rachel Abernathy. Scarlett Johansson reflects on how Black Widow has evolved since her MCU debut in 2010's Iron Man 2. Johansson's Natasha Romanoff made her first on-screen appearance in Iron Man 2 when she went undercover as a new employee at Stark Industries. As the movie later revealed, unassuming Natalie Rushman was actually kick-ass SHIELD agent Black Widow, and she soon went on to become part of the original Avengers lineup. Black Widow has appeared in several MCU movies over the years, culminating in her death in Avengers Endgame. And yet, Nat's MCU story isn't quite over. With next month's Black Widow, she will finally step into the spotlight for her own solo movie set. Between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War, directed by Kate Shortland, Black Widow will see Natasha going back to her assassin roots in a final quest to take down the Red Room. This will be the most Black Widow-centric story yet for the MCU, with movies delving into her backstory in a major way. It also stars Florence Powell, Rachel Weisz, and David Harbour. A while back, Screen Rant received the opportunity to visit the set of Black Widow and speak to some of the movie stars. With Johansson, we took the chance to get her to reflect on how her portrayal of Natasha might have evolved since her first appearance in Iron Man 2. Johansson sees the change has been based with Nat's strength, she said. She's seductive. It's in this kind of way, that Iron Man 2 beginning phase, and that's her power. Her power is in her sexuality. And then that changed over time. Her strength was actually her vulnerability. That's the place we're in now. She's in some weird messed up backwards way. If any person could be truly altruistic, because nobody is obviously, but actually the act, her sacrifice was a truly altruistic offering. And I think she really sacrifices herself out of her love. She saves her friend. She saves everyone, but she saves her friend. I think just being in that kind of headspace and being able to make that decision, that selfless act, is so incredibly powerful. It's amazing that she could be in that headspace to do that. When Black Widow first arrived in Iron Man 2, she was positioned as a supporting player in Tony Stark's Robert Downey Jr.'s story. As Johansson said, she was a very seductive figure, and it felt very much like, since Tony and others might have seen her in that way, the front she put on. However, now that Natasha has grown as her own person throughout the MCU, her genuine heart becomes the biggest facet of her character. This was clear in Endgame, and it looks to be clear in Black Widow as well. As many have pointed out, it's a bummer to have the unabashedly Natasha-centric story arrive after her death in Avengers Endgame. In a way, her story has reached an endpoint, and exploring it further could seem unnecessary. However, Johansson's comments have confirmed there's still more to Black Widow that could be revealed. She deserves to show her evolution through her own story, and that's exactly what will happen when her new solo movie, when it arrives in July. Black Widow has gone through some fascinating development, and it'll be interesting to see how it takes a shape in the film. So that's very, very interesting. As I say, they need to do the film to introduce Florence Powell's version of Black Widow. So that's why they're doing it. But, you know, Bobcat, I have the worst acid reflux right now. My throat and mouth is burning and my stomach hurts. Oh, dear. I used to get lots of acid. I still do. I have lots of problems with my stomach. I have pills. Bobcat, I mean, yeah, it's powerful, but it's an a-hole move to not. I mean, half the world would remain dead and your best friend. That's true. I wouldn't sacrifice myself for anyone. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Oh, fuck. I flipping well hate you. I really do. I can't believe that. It actually went on another angle on purpose. So where are we? Bear with me. Right, here we are. Let's get to the CW's full schedule. Bobcat, really? Nobody? I don't know. Listen, a situation like that, you only know when the time comes. People say they'll do this and that, but when the time comes, you don't know. So I can't tell you if I would do it or not, actually. I'd have to wait for that moment to arise and for me to be put in that position. I would sacrifice myself for my nephews and nieces, and that's it. I probably don't like many other people apart from my nephews and nieces as on a one-on-one basis, physically in real life. So I would probably only sacrifice myself for them. The CW reveals 10 fall 2021 TV show premiere dates. The CW, home to the Arrowverse and other popular television series, released its premiere schedule for its fall following the 2020 pandemic delays by Nadia Goff of Screen Rant. Right, let's clear this frog from my throat. The CW has officially released a premiere schedule for this fall. The CW emerged in 2006 as a joint venture between CBS and Warner Media, who sought to combine their separate networks, UPN and the WB, respectively, into one. The CW originally struggled airing reruns and new seasons of shows that had started on previous networks, such as Season 7 of WB's Gilmore Girl and of UPN's America's Next Top Model. And by the way, Smallville was airing on it initially when it was still on, and Smallville kept it afloat. But don't mention that at all. It wasn't until the near turn of the decade that the CW started to solidify its ratings with its roster of popular series aimed towards young adult girls and women such as Gossip Girl, 90210, and the incredibly popular The Vampire Diaries. Since then, the CW has developed a reputation for airing originally mostly young adult dramas or sci-fi superhero fantasy series. Though it's less common that the network will air comedies, some of its comedic content has garnered critical success. Yeah, because they're shills that are paid off, including the beloved Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Still, the network finds the most success with its superhero and fantasy genres, specifically with the ever-growing Arrowverse and the long-running series Supernatural, which recently finished its 15th and final season. By the way, Supernatural started on the WB. It wouldn't have been on the CW if it wasn't for the WB network. Let's remember the WB network. They're the ones who gave Our Miles to freedom with Smallville. Our Miles didn't really, I don't think, get on really well with the CW, and I can understand why when they were aiming at young women, when it had a mixture of kind of people watching it, but the CW just wanted to appeal to young women. The CW has just released its 2021 fall premiere schedule, which can be read in full on TV Line. Nancy Drew's Season 3, a darker adaptation of the famous children's series, will be one of the first out of the gate, premiering on October the 8th. Legends of the Hidden Temple, the adult reboot of the nostalgic Nickelodeon competition show, has its series premiere on October the 10th. Entering the DCEU, DC's Legends of Tomorrow Season 7, and what? Entering the DCEU? Anyway, the DC's Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 and Batwoman Season 3 will both premiere on October the 13th. The current bastion of Vampire Diaries franchise Legacy Season 4 premieres the following day on October the 14th. The anticipated reboot of the USA Network's sci-fi cult classic, The 4400, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, and All-American Season 4, and one of the CW's leading series premieres on October the 25th, Walker Season 2. The reboot of Walker Texas Rangers premieres on October the 28th, and to round out the list, coming later in mid-November, fan favourites The Flash Season 8, Riverdale Season 6, premiere on November the 16th. And it's interesting because Season 8 of The Flash, they've announced when it premieres, right, but they haven't said it's a final season, which means it's not. Unless they do it in the next few days. I don't know, Bobcat, I don't know, I'm more worried about the pain of death than after death. Bobcat, I'm religious, so the pain is the part I'm most worried about. Bobcat, imagining nothing after death also scares me, just nothing. No thoughts on anything. Just don't think about it. Bobcat, there's so much power in the human brain, I don't think it can just all go away, like turning a light on and off. That's an interesting thought. Why don't you focus on being alive and not worrying on being dead? You're just wasting your time. This schedule is a breath of fresh air from a network that was greatly impacted by the pandemic. Initially, the CW was forced to wrap many of its series early, resulting in abrupt endings to their current seasons and odd starts to their subsequent seasons. Then the network announced that it delayed all original programming until this year. Some series were then cancelled, such as Katie Keene and Supergirl, though it's unclear how much the pandemic shut down had to do with the decision. Nothing. Stop making the excuses that Supergirl is canned because of the pandemic. You're talking shit. On the other hand, the CW does plan on launching new series, including All-American spin-off or All-American Homecoming and Ava DuVernay's Naomi. Fans can rest easy knowing that their favourites are coming back soon, despite the complicated release schedule they had to endure so far this year, though that doesn't mean that the fans will settle for anything less than great. Well, you're standing the wrong network then. Though that doesn't mean the fans will settle for anything less than great, as evidenced by the Powerpuffs leak and subsequent reshoot. With the effects of the pandemic on the television industry seemingly slipping into the rear view, hopefully the shows that the CW fans know and love will stay in the clear. So that's interesting. So if you are a CW stan, you know the schedule now. Right. Bobcat, oh, I was living today, very much alive, Lyle. If I thought otherwise, the pool would have revived me. Definitely. Water tends to do that, or you'll drown. Paul Rudd confirms he's already filming Ant-Man 3. Paul Rudd confirms in an Instagram video for a charity celebrity basketball game that he's now filming Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in London by Maxim Vinogradov. Wow, what a name of Screen Rant. Paul Rudd announced that he's currently filming Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. The sequel to the Ant-Man and the Wasp is expected to release in 2023, exploring the quantum realm introduced in Ant-Man and expanded upon in Avengers Endgame. It's interesting that Ant-Man 3 and Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, are both launching in 2023, and they're both in the level of each other, aren't they, in terms of the MCU and the DCEU? As director Peyton Reed explained, following the release of the second film, Ant-Man 3 will make the first and second films' explorations of the quantum realm look like they were just dipping our toes into it. It could be interesting exploring the quantum realm. Not could be. It should be. It should be awesome. The Ant-Man movies surround Rudd as Scott Lang Ant-Man, a former criminal turned Avenger with a suit that can shrink him down to an atomic level or enlarge him to the size of a giant. As debuted in Captain America Civil War, alongside Rudd is Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, the Wasp, the daughter of the original Ant-Man, and the Wasp, Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, and Janet Van Dyne, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Both Douglas and Pfeiffer will reprise their roles, with Pfeiffer sharing a training video back in May. Well, that's awesome. Always great to see Michelle training. In an Instagram video, Paul Rudd confirmed Ant-Man 3 is filming in London. The video was posted by Tyreek Hill, nicknamed Cheetah, wide received for Rudd's hometown Kansas City Chiefs. In the clip, Rudd promoted a celebrity basketball game for the Tyreek Hill Foundation, raising money for the Cheetah Scholarship Fund. Rudd mentions at the last moment that he wouldn't be able to attend the game due to filming Ant-Man 3, though claims if he can make the trip, he might be really small. You might not be able to see me. Check out the video below. We're not going to do that. And new to the cast of Ant-Man 3 is Big Little Lies Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter, who was warmly welcomed by Lily in an Instagram post, leaving as T.I. Harris as Scott's co-criminal. Dave announced as not returning to Ant-Man 3. That's a shame. In March, due to the star's abuse allegations, all right, that's not a shame, as the director Peyton Reed will review same virtual production technology for Ant-Man 3 that he used in directing 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. It's interesting though, right? Why should you be banished from the accusations? Shouldn't someone be innocent till proven guilty? Because most of the time these people aren't taken to a court of law. So the accusations just stick, and their punishment is exile from the entertainment industry. While there have been many opinions and fan theories about Ant-Man, including that the Wasp is better than him at everything, Rudd's depiction has been regularly praised by fans and critics alike for its comedy and heart as a film series. Ant-Man hasn't been just a comedic tone shift alongside Thor Ragnarok for the MCU, but the genesis of the quantum realm, which is a vital tool for the Avengers. With Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, fans can hope for a greater exploration of how the quantum realm can be utilized, as well as get a tug on the laugh box and heartstring. I can hardly wait. Listen, this is not the most exciting thing, but the exploration of the quantum realm does interest me, at the very least. So we have one more article for you. Then I'm going to check what Ronnie Dodge posted to me about the DCEU shortly, right? Bobcat wasn't talking about the water, talking about the other person in the water, lol. Interesting. Bobcat, was she training for that or a cameo in The Flash? Maybe both, hopefully. Maybe. Yeah, that would be cool. Bobcat, of course the Wasp is better than ever because why wouldn't she be? Exactly. Emmanuel Cruz, did you see that Isaiah Gonzalez tweet I think this is the one about, you're talking about Zatanna, aren't you? Yeah, Ronnie Dodge told me about that, but thank you for bringing it up, because it's always exciting for people to come in and say, hey, someone from the potentially could be involved in the DCEU, or we've got some DCEU news. If I'm missing out on something and you can remind me, that's what Movies TV Mad is about. You are my soldiers, soldieresses, or however you identify, it doesn't matter, but you're my soldiers out there. And if you find some entertainment gossip, let me know and I'll report it. But as I said, if there's a movie series or a movie or a TV series that I haven't spoken about, then we can talk about it here on Movies TV Mad or Movies TV Mad. Manifest cancelled after season 3 at NBC. NBC's drama Manifest, starring Melissa Roxburgh, Josh Dallas and J.R. Ramirez, has been cancelled following last week's season 3 finale. NBC has decided to end Manifest after season 3, premiering in 2018. There should be some news somewhere. Right. This is we're not going to read the whole article, because basically Screen Rant are just going to do a monologue before they tell you anything. This is Jeff Rake, who I think is an executive producer or showrunner on the show. My dear Manifestors, I'm devastated by NBC's decision to cancel us. That we've been shut down in the middle is a gut punch, to say the least. Hoping to find a new home. You, the fans, deserve an ending to your story. Thanks for the love shown to me. Cast and crew. Save Manifest. So there is a Save Manifest hashtag, which is very, very exciting. So if you want to hashtag Save Manifest, you should absolutely do that. Now let's see what Ronnie Dodge was talking about. Ronnie Dodge, right, here we go. Black Adam updates. Seeing what they're doing with the script and seeing what they're doing with DC as a whole is just really beautiful. Quintessa Swindell, who's playing Cyclone for Black Adam, talks briefly about the film with Collider. Right, this is a quote. I'm going to read it out to you. And now you're venturing into the world of superheroes with Black Adam. Do you feel like you're able to find a way to carve out a space for yourself? Swindell, yeah, because there's a level of realism in the character. And that's just really beautiful. Seeing what they're doing with the script and seeing what they're doing with DC as a whole is just really beautiful. It's inspiring that the direction that they're going in and being able to be part of that process lines up with every other project. It definitely means something. The values that it has and its core are values that line up with what I believe in and what I look up to. And so this is very interesting, right? So she plays, I've forgotten her name, basically. She's playing Cyclone, right? Now, she says that her character is taken as a realistic character. This is part of my problem with the entertainment industry right now. She's talking about everything lining up with everything in the DC cinematic universe and DC live action, which I think is amazing. But I'm wondering, as a child, Bobka, I actually really like Cyclone in the comics. I'm not a Cyclone fan by any means, but I like her. I've never heard of her character, so I'm excited to be introduced to her in Black Adam. As a child, I had Superman the movie, Star Wars A New Hope, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future to escape to. But these people making movies and acting in movies now are obsessed with grabbing our heads and keeping us in the real world. You're not going to leave. You're not going to escape. You're not going to have any escapism. Escapism was a great tool for me as a child. It helped me escape my reality from having learning difficulties, being bullied at school. If you keep on basing the biggest fantasy elements like superheroes in the real world, then no one gets to escape. And escapism is healthy. Now, these people, these extremists, don't believe in that. So I hope she's talking about great storytelling. And I'm happy she said that everything in the DC universe is aligning. That's exciting as well. But your character being in the real world, your character, the DC having some kind of values that you value does scare me. I'm wondering what you're alluding to. So hopefully it's all done for the right reasons. But here's the thing as I finish off for today's, what am I called again? As I finish off for today's Movies TV Mad Daily, I do worry about the future. Not just of DC, because I'm excited for the multiverse strategy, the Hamadiverse, but I'm worried about the entertainment industry as a whole. We are going down this reality hole. And the industry is run by alt-left extremists, and they believe fantasy is wrong, and they believe the real world is where our heads should be and where young people's heads should be. I disagree. Escapism is the most healthiest thing in the world. And I think the more you try and keep people's heads in the real world, the more mentally ill people will become and more depressed, and anxiety kicks in. I don't think forcing people to be in the real world in, storytelling is a good thing. In fact, I think it's an extremely bad thing. Bobcat, that's why I watch old movies and read comics. I was bullied a lot. And so what others around me got through it with Batman, the animated series, and DC Comics and comic books. Exactly. It's looking like, ultimately, in the end, it's not the new comic books we're going to read, it's the old ones. It's not the new movies we're going to watch, it's the old ones. It's not the new television shows we're going to watch, it's the old ones. Because it's not about what they valued or the commentary, because they are a victim of the time they were made in, but it is in the fact that they took you to another plane of existence. They helped you escape. Now, some people believe that, as I've said, that we should always be in the real world. I don't. And I think that kind of thinking is dangerous for us all, especially for our young people. Anyway, this has been the Movies TV Mad Daily. I have updated you on everything. My throat is dead. I will be back later with the Movies TV Mad. Let me start again. I'm getting confused because I keep on going to say Big Mouth. Right. Bobcat, oh boy, just wait until you see what I have cooking up, Mickey. I'm crafting new things as we speak. That's very exciting. So, I'll be back at 6:30 with Movies TV Mad Live. That's right, Movies TV Mad Live, not Big Mouth Live, because I'm not Big Mouth anymore. Get used to it. So, Movies TV Mad Live is tonight from 6:30 p.m. UK time. Check your local times. We will have discussions, we will have debates, and if there's anything new in the entertainment industry to update you with, I will let you know. So until then, thank you for supporting me. Thanks for commenting. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're re-watching this, comment down below. I apologize that the first video was cut short due to a technical problem. My internet went down. That's the second time it's happened in the past few days. Don't know what's going on there, but I will see you again soon. Bobcat, I do have some realistic movies, but not woke at all. Bobcat, if anything, some are very unwoke. Bobcat, see you, Mickey. See you, Bobcat. Bobcat, leave a like, everyone. Listen to Bobcat. Leave a like, everyone. And I will see you again soon. Check me out on TikTok. Movies TV Mad 555. Check me out on Instagram. Movies TV Mad 555 as well. So until tonight, 6:30 p.m. UK time with Movies TV Mad Live. I'll see you again later. Until then. Goodbye.